For the past 5 years, I used a simple system to turn complete strangers into paying customers and then into 4 and 5 figures clients in a matter of days. This is the same structure that has generated 6 figures in backend sales without ads. And the exact same process will map together inside my live workshop next week, by the way. So if you haven't joined the workshop, go straight into the link and go and join us next week because it's going to be absolutely mind blowing. Hi, I'm Gwen, by the way, the funnel queen. I help coaches, experts, and leaders make more money without adding more to their plate and build elite businesses through 3 things: strategic offer architecture, invisible sales strategies, and smart, sophisticated evergreen funnel designed to operate with the same intelligence and discernment as the women they're built for. Because so many times I see funnels that they're built like 4 or 5 years old, and we are not 5 years old. And today we are talking about the proven funnel formula that made me 6 figures without any ads. In full transparency, I do use ads sometimes, but I don't use them for my funnels. I use them for launch events. Another story for another time. Most people regarding funnel think that they are complicated, and I get it. Honestly, like the first time I've done a funnel and the first funnel course that I took just gave me so many headaches, days and days of headaches. And I think that's because of the way it was explained. But most of people are going to imagine that it takes dozens of emails, which maybe if you have a very long funnel for some reason, that it requires complicated tech. Most of my clients, whatever platform they come with, we build the funnel on the platform they already have. So it's not complicated. Endless lead magnets. You don't need to have 10 different lead magnets. You can just have one. Or everyone thinks you need to have ads running constantly towards your funnel to have people coming into your funnel and buying. No, not at all. But the truth here is that the funnels that actually generate tons of money, consistent revenue, are usually very simple. And I love simplicity. Oh my goodness, why would we make everything so complicated? So for the past 5 years, I have used one 4-step funnel structure. Okay, just 4. And I'm going to cover them today across my own business and my clients' businesses. All the time, the same 4 steps. And this funnel does something very unique, I think, which takes someone who has never heard of you before, turns them into a $27 client, and then into a 4 or 5 figure, depending on your offer, clients within days, not months, days. Some of my clients, because they have a 10K offer, will take someone from a $27 offer to a 10K offer in just a matter of days. In fact, some of my clients have made 18 sales for their mastermind, which is high ticket offer, 18 sales in 2 weeks from their funnel. One of my friends who asked me to review something in her funnel, she made, instead of making 6 sales in 2 months, she then made 7 sales in just 2 weeks. So the simplicity, and we made her funnel simpler, not more complicated. We removed tons of emails, we changed a lot of things to make it simple. And the reason it works is because the funnel is designed like a customer ascension. So really keeping in mind buyer psychology. And that's why everything that I teach my clients, and if you come into the workshop, I will teach you the same, is really on how we understand how someone is moving through the offers and what is their experience. Because what we build is truly a backend experience. Just like you build an experience with your client, just like you build also an experience when you're doing a live launch. So we're not doing, when you do a live launch, you're not doing just a random masterclasses or posting random stuff on social media. No, you have a strategy behind it. And it is the same within your funnel. So every single step of this funnel is going to prepare for the next one. And every step you will see is going to build more trust. So 4 very simple steps. And this funnel with the 4 key components, it's just 4. Okay. So step number 1, let's see like the component number 1. And you're going to be like, really? Yeah. But I'm going to also give you at the end, by the way, so stay until the end. I'm going to give you the 3 principles that make those 4 steps work all the time, because you may know those 4 steps, but you just don't do it the way that my clients are doing it. If not, you will be making 6 figures or 5 figures a month from your funnels too. So the first step is the entry offer. Okay, that's the first step in your funnel. So if we look at a funnel, like from it's large at the top and it's thinner at the bottom, like a funnel shape, then we'll have the top, which is the entry offer, which is when people are going to say the first yes. And this is where strangers become buyers. Depending on your funnel, this could also go into they become buyers right away. Okay, or sometimes they become like a follower, depending on what is our entry offer. But let's say that here, this is where a stranger is going to become a buyer. So let's say new follower is going to join your $11 or $27 offer, not a subscriber, okay, a buyer. And this step alone completely changes the entire psychology of the relationship, okay, the relationship that you have with them. Because once someone buys from you, they no longer see you as content. You are no longer like the fun chick that is going to give them tips on social media. They see you as a solution. And that this is why a good entry point actually does three things. Okay, remember that. So an entry offer that is very good is going to solve a very specific problem. A very specific problem quickly. So it's not going to take them 5 days to sort out the problem. This is not quick, okay? We want to create an immediate win. We also want, often in this first year's offer, to show clearly what is the gap between where they're at and where they could be with more of our help. So we have those three key elements, okay, for the entry offer. So it solves a very specific problem quickly. It also creates an immediate win. And it's also naturally going to lead to the next step in your ecosystem. What is the next step? And when this step, so the entry offer, is done very well, you're going to not have to want more traffic all the time, because you will have a proven system that transform traffic into leads into sales. And so now you already have a buyer. And so your funnel starts creating new buyers every week. And new buyers are going to behave very differently in your world than if they were not a buyer and just opting onto something free. Our number 2 step is actually the end offer. And you may be thinking, what? Are we going straight from the first offer to the end? Yes, for the step we are. So your end offer here is where the real transformation happens. This is usually your signature offer, by the way. It can be your mastermind if you have a mastermind, or a group program, or high ticket offer. But here is where I think most people make a mistake, is that they think the job of the funnel is simply to sell this end offer, like the big offer. No, the real job of your funnel is not just to sell the big offer, like your high ticket offer. It's to prepare people to be ready for it. So we want some element that is going to help the readiness of your client to go from being a $27 client to a 10K, 50K, 100K if you want client. So when the funnel here is designed correctly, people are going to arrive at your main offer already convinced this is for them. They're going to already be trusting you. They're already going to see you as an authority. They're already seeing results from just being in the process. So the decision is going to become a lot easier. And I think what is happening for a lot of women online is that they think that someone who is going to buy their 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K offer is going to come looking from their social media content. And actually, this is not true, because on your social media content, you actually don't have everything. Okay, that in a funnel, you have everything. You have your story, where all of this comes from, who you are, what is the deepest vision that you have, what is your mission, what are all the clients' results that you have proven to everyone else and given to your clients and to yourself, like so many things that you cannot express in just 3 pieces of content, or even like the 10 last pieces of content. And I think a lot of people just aim on this. And so what happens when this is what you do, by the way, is that you tend to do a launch. So you do a live launch, you have a lot of momentum, a lot of people are buying. And then after that, people are not buying so much. So you're thinking, oh, okay, I really don't want to launch so much because it's so fucking tiring. Yes, we get you. So I'm going to just work on my content. And then you start working on your content, taking the hundreds of masterclass of messaging and content and learning reels and learning whatever other type of content and changing your messaging because you think your content is what is going to make sales. And of course, it's not working at the speed that you want it to work because that's not what content is here for. Content is here to bring awareness. Okay. That's why, like, when we sell a ton in our social media content, we tend to not build a lot of awareness and not have a lot of views. That's why we want to see what is the place of our social media content and our strategy with it, to see what are we doing with it, because the idea is to bring those people and this awareness into your funnels. It's inside your funnels that they're going to discover all the layers of the onion that you are. Okay, you smell good compared to an onion, but you see what I mean. Okay, so this is really our second step, by the way. That's why, like, our second step is the end offer. That's why this is so essential to have the end offer already in mind, but knowing that this is not just what we sell also you throughout your funnel, because as you will see in the other steps, someone may not be buying this offer, but they will buy something else because of the work you have done inside this funnel. So our step number 3 in our 4-step framework is upsells and bumps. And so this step is about momentum. Okay, so that means that when someone is going to buy, like when we think about the upsells and the bumps, they are what we add when someone is already buying. So let's say we have this $27 buyer coming in. We can add a bump offer, which is before someone buys, or an upsell, which is just after someone buys. And this is to have more income, right? But when someone buys something from you, you want to understand that their brain is already in a decision-making state. And they have said yes so many times. Not just said yes to this specific offer, by the way, but they have said yes to all the content that they have read before. They have said yes to all of on every sentence on your sales page. They have said yes so many times already. So what we want here inside your funnel is to dramatically increase the value of your funnel, which we are going to do by placing strategically some bumps and some upsells, not by pushing people into a certain direction, but really by giving them the next logical step. And so a good upsell, what is a good upsell? A good upsell feel like, of course, I need this. I need this too, you know? Of course, I also want this. That's why on Amazon, that's why on Kindle, they're going to all the time give you some recommendations. Say, hey, everyone who bought this also bought this. Do you want it? Yes, of course I want it. Of course I want it. This, by the way, like during the 2-hour workshop, Map Your 6-Figure Funnel next week, I'm going to be in your business with you during the workshop and help every single person brainstorm and find what are going to be there on upsell. So if you're wondering what are yours, your entry offer, your end offer, the upsells, the bumps, the downsells, like all of the things, we're going to choose all of it together. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to choose and what not to choose. So your funnel is going to be able to generate 6 figures. And I'm saying this because last week I was reviewing a funnel for one of my clients. So someone hired me, she makes $500K a year and she wants to make $1 million this year. And she hired me because she already has a funnel. She had maybe 2,000 people as a traffic coming towards her funnel. And she had a handful of sales. Okay. And like the projection with her funnel when she gave everything to me, honestly, would have been hard for her to make more than 30K in over a few months with this funnel. And she did not make 30K yet, Evan. When we change this, the upsells, the offers are actually inside. When we change the email sequence length and what offers are going to be in, the prediction that I gave her for her funnel is 196,000 USD. So from a projection of 30,000, if she was keeping the funnel as it is, compared to 196. Yeah, that's why this is so important. And people think like, I just put this entry offer and this end offer, and that's it. Let me put 5 or 8 email in between. Yeah, well, you can try. You can try and you will probably have the same as the average conversion in the world, which is like 1 to 5. You can push it to 10 if people are more warm, people who are entering your funnel. But that's it. My clients have between 15 and 30% conversion rate. I do have some funnels with 30% conversion rate. Some of my clients have funnels with 30% conversion rate to 29 to be exact. So really what I want you to understand is to not just pick and choose whatever. Okay, that's very important. We're not playing a little game with our 5 years old here. Okay, so we want to be strategic. So why are they trying, by the way, when coming back into this, when I'm thinking of the best upsell, I want you to understand that the worst actually upsell is when people start asking themselves, why are they asking me or offering me all of those offers? Like, I don't care about this. So we want all of those offers instead to be really aligned with a single client, a single dreaming client in mind. And this person, the single dreaming client, can move towards all of those offers in a very short period of time. So it's not going to take them 6 months also to do your upsell. If not, they're never going to buy the other next offer. So just a little bit of a hint here, but definitely come into the workshop. And if you listen to this like weeks or months behind, send me a DM. I do funnel audits. I can look also at your funnels, or you can join us inside Elite Mastermind, which is my 12 months mastermind. And we are opening the doors very, very soon. Then we have our step number 4. And step number 4 is something that so many people are missing or have the complete wrong one. So step number 4 is the fallback offer. Fallback offer is also known as downsell. I don't like the word downsell because downsell means to me that we are doing down for the price, and the downsell is not, to me, always down in price. So I call this a fallback offer. And this is the step almost nobody talks about. I have helped so many women who teach ads, who teach funnels, add fallback offer that actually makes sense. Okay. So I want you to understand that there was a logic into this, and that it's really important that you hear me on this. So this is the reason that so many funnels are going to leave money on the table. Okay. And what you want to understand is that not everyone is going to buy your main offer immediately. So what can you do? What can you offer them instead? And that's normal if they didn't buy. That has nothing to do maybe with you. Okay. That's why we want to first test the funnel to see, is it because of you that they're not buying or not? But if it's not because of you and your funnel, and some people are buying, some people are not buying, which is fine. Imagine you have 30% of people coming into your funnel who buy. You still have 70% of people who didn't buy. So what do we do with this 70% of this group of people? This is where your fallback offer comes in. And this gives people another way to continue the journey with you. And we want to keep them moving forward in your ecosystem instead of just living. And this is how a funnel continues generating revenue, even from people who didn't buy the main offer. Again, to choose this offer, your fallback offer, come into the workshop. I will help you choose it. And even if you could not make it live, you will hear so many examples from everyone that you will definitely know what you need to create for yourself. Now, I wanted to quickly cover the 3 principles that I think are so important to also make this entire thing work. And I could definitely stop here. We're already 20 minutes in the episode, but I want to give it to you all. And this is actually something I talked about last week in my social media. I did some reels on this, but wanted to add a little bit here. So 3 principles for your funnel to work. The first one is easy yes. My goodness, it's so hard to say yes in so many funnels. Okay, it's so hard because it doesn't sound obvious, and it's often a messaging problem. A lot of people, especially if you tend to know how to do launches, how to sell on social media, you're probably quite good at warm, hot lead messaging, but not really at cold traffic. And I can tell you that 100% of the funnel I have ever reviewed have problems with cold messaging. Okay. They don't know how to talk to people who are cold, who are not a big fan of them and already love them. And already also know all of your little words that you use. So when I say obvious next step, it means that it's crystal clear. Everything is crystal clear. There's no confusion. And people need a very clear reason to move forward. We want that it's easy to say yes. The second element here is take my money messaging. I just love calling this. That's actually the name of my podcast. Take my money. Take my money messaging is I really want you to see people like maybe you are on top on a rooftop and you're on top of a rooftop and people are just like, take my money, and just want you to like have them, because you get them. And so to me, like that's the psychic level messaging in Take My Money messaging, because you're going to speak really directly to them and to the moment they are in. Okay. And this is something like if you look at my content, you can see that I'm speaking to you in a specific situation where you're in. And this is the work I also do in my funnels and what I teach to my clients. So messaging, of course, is a big piece, messaging and the positioning of your offers inside your funnel. And we, of course, work on that. And the element number 3 is to mimic your live energy. You see, for example, here, by listening to me, you actually have a bit of a glimpse of my live energy. And the best funnels are going to feel like a conversation, feeling also like you are actually in front of this person. And I'm going to also teach you how to do this. When you are able to capture your live energy in a funnel, people are going to connect with you, even if they've never spoken to you before. Like they feel that they know you. This is really important. Okay. So remember those 3 principles. Number 1 is a yes. Number 2, take my money messaging and mimic your live energy. We want to have those 3 in all 4 steps of our funnel. When these 4 steps and 3 principles are working together, it's exactly when you have an invisible sales system that is going to generate 6 figures. And I'm not saying, by the way, that you should not live launch offers. I'm live launching, okay? But honestly, do you need to live launch that much? Not if you have a proper 6-figure sales funnel selling for you, right? Building a real sales system, like one that is not going to rely on you showing up every single day. You may show up every single day. And by the way, I'm also not going to tell you to not show up. You see me, I launch, and you see your mentors launching, selling, also having backend systems. So I have double the money, double the clients without doubling my workload. Okay. So I build offers that are not stretching my time. I have 2 calls. Sometimes I have 3 calls a week. Okay. But I tend to have 2 calls a week. I'm 2 days a week on messaging with my clients. And that's it. Okay. So that's to build like offers. But in terms of the selling, I like to show up on social media. I like to talk about my offers. I like to connect with my people. And so this is something that I do, but I also would like that I don't have to. And this is why I always had system for many years now in the back end that fills up my mastermind, that fills up my high ticket offers, and even my low ticket offers that are then filling up my other offers. So it's not, I don't put all of my eggs in one basket, right? I don't put also all the pressure in this masterclass I'm hosting has to convert X amount of people. If not, how am I going to pay my bills? No, not at all. Okay. When you have a system that continue converting strangers into clients, even when you are not actively selling, to me, that's a flex. Now, if you want to map this entire funnel for your own business, from entry offer to upsell, fallback logic to your signature offer, then come join me inside Map Your 6-Figure Funnel workshop next week. This is a live 2-hour implementation workshop. So it's not me talking for 2 hours and you listen, fall asleep, and and that's it. No, we will map your entire funnel together. So I'm going to tell you the strategy, each element separately. So we'll do one element, we're going to like brainstorm together, we'll do one element, and at the end, you're going to have your entire funnel completely mapped, but also we're going to reverse engineer your 100K. So how is this funnel going to make 100K? And we're going to see it with like real numbers. I'm going to share with you things that I don't share anywhere else, which are like really the benchmark also on what you need to expect in terms of each section of your funnel. So we're going to go in a lot of depth. By the end of this workshop, you will have the right entry offer for your business and your audience. If you don't have ideas, don't worry. I have 1,000 ideas. Like my clients are like, oh, by the way, I have this offer. I'm not sure about this. Should I do this as an entry offer? And I'm like, you could also do this, because I have built so many funnels and I've been in this industry for many years and in different industries. You will also have at the end of the workshop your funnel structure. Okay, so from the conversion to ascension with every single touch point map, which is very important. Your bumps, your upsells, your fallback offer, all this is going to be mapped. So you're going to see how to increase revenue massively, even without more traffic coming in your funnel. So even if people were not reading your emails. And we will also talk about the email sequence structure that connects it all. So instead of guessing how funnels work and what to put where, you are going to walk away with your funnel completely mapped, designed, architected. You can grab your seat using the link in the show notes. Space is limited because we are going to brainstorm together. So if I were you, I will hop on now before I just close enrollment when we have reached the number of spots that is enough to be live. Thank you so much for listening to this training on the proven funnel formula to make 6 figures without ads. You can also do it with ads, by the way. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future training like this one. And I will see you next week for another one. Bye, everyone.